In this video, we'll be covering how to get started with WordPress. Hey, what's up? I'm Mark Terribly, and I'm all about achieving financial independence through real estate investing and online business. So if you're new to the channel and you're looking to achieve financial freedom for yourself, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button down below. It really does help me out, and I'll keep cranking out these videos. In a previous video, I showed how to install WordPress on your server, and you can find a link to that in the description below. But in this video, I'm going to go over just kind of the basics of WordPress. So we'll go ahead and take a look. So here is a fresh install of WordPress, and I kind of want to go over what we have going on here on the left-hand side. Some of it we're going to dive into, some of it we're going to kind of gloss over because you don't really need to know everything, but I'm going to point out some of the key things here. So first you'll see here is just a dashboard, and they just have a few quick things in here. You can move things around, whatever is important to you, you can move them around however you like. Some of these are not going to be very important. You can close them up. You probably don't need to know about events and news quite as much, but you can drag things around, move things around wherever you like. You can kind of see the health of the site. You can see at a glance posts, comments, pages, some activity. So just some general stats here. So what we're going to go ahead and do is kind of go down the page here. So we'll click on updates. And here you're going to see if you have any updates to your site, they're going to kind of show up here. Like if there's a WordPress update, you'll go to this page and it'll have a button. It'll say update. You can click that and it'll go ahead and update. Sometimes there's auto updates if you set that up, but this is where you would find that. And so you can also reinstall if you'd like to. So we'll keep going here. So posts. So a post is basically an article for your website. Let's say you want to write, some kind of an article with, a title, paragraph, text, images, all that stuff. That's all going to be posts. So we'll go ahead and click on posts. And they give you an article here just to kind of get you started. So we'll go ahead and click on that so you can kind of get an idea of what it looks like. And it's actually very, very basic. So you just have your title here and then your paragraph text here. And that's basically all there is to it. But you can, on the right-hand side here, we can take a look at a few things here. So you can change visibility to private if you want, or password protected. So when you're ready to publish, you can go ahead and do that as well. This is actually already published. But if you make any changes, we'll go ahead and type some text here. See, you can update it and it'll update the post. And if you haven't done that, it would say publish here. So we're going to keep going here. So a few different things here. There's different templates you can use, single post or default or blank. If you just want a completely blank page. You can add more templates if you want, but that gets kind of out of scope for this video. These are just kind of like the basics here. You have a default kind of single post template, and then you have a completely blank page. You can dive into this and make further templates if you want, but we're going to go ahead and gloss over that. Permalink. So permalink is basically like, whatever your website is, .com/ article name. And usually what it does is it automatically likes to grab the article title here. So it says hello world, and it'll create this slug for you, hello world, and it'll be, whatever your website is, .com/ hello-world in this case. So that is basically the link that you're using there. Categories is basically like, if you have a certain category for your article, let's say it's like outdoor gear or something, and you put like tents or, whatever it is, cooking utensils or whatever it is. There's categories for that. You can also tag things. You can add like comma-separated tags. So if it is camping, you can put, like camping, outdoors, whatever it may be. You can add some tags to that as well. And this kind of helps people find your content a little bit. Featured image is basically like the image you're going to have at the top of the article. It's usually a little bit larger. And so you would upload that there. And probably gloss over this. Don't need to know much about excerpts, discussions. If you usually want to allow comments, people to engage with your contents, but you can turn off comments if you want. And probably don't need to talk about pingbacks and trackbacks as much right now. But that is kind of the basic of a post. And if you can add new there, if you want to add a new article, you can do that. And if you want to add categories, so let's say, like I said, if right now we just have uncategorized. So you can add new categories. So like I said, you can add like tents or whatever it is. You can also make it a parent category. So you can, have, outdoor gear / tents or something. You can have a parent category to that if you want to. And then you can add a slug if you want. Let's do tense as well. And you just add a new category. And there it is, there's a new category. And so any categories you can think of, go ahead and add them here. And then when you write an article and it's on that specific topic, you can click the drop down, which I'll show in a second, and select that as the topic, or the category, excuse me. So that's that. Tags here are as well. You can add tags on this page here. You can also add them on the post as well. You can create new tags there. But if you want like a specific number of tags, you can kind of keep them here. Moving down, we'll go to media. So there's a media library, and this is where all your images are going to be placed. So if you wanted to just upload new images to the site in general, and you use them like on maybe the home page or the contact us page or the about us page, whatever it may be, you can upload photos to the media library here. And then when you're on that page and you're editing it, you can reference back to this library and just insert those images wherever you need them. So that's what the media library here is for. Now pages are basically just pages of your website. So generally you're going to have like a home page, maybe a contact page, about us, maybe you're going to have some products and services. So you're going to create specific pages wherever you need. And by default, they have a couple pages here. They just have a sample page and a privacy policy page. So we'll go ahead and open up one of these, and here you go. You can kind of just see what it looks like. And I'll go ahead and open up what it might look like here. So this is the sample page. And so if you look at this, here's the kind of the headline, text, and basically here it is. And there's different designs for this. They're called themes. We'll get to in a second. But this is kind of the default theme right now. So that is that. We'll go ahead and go back. And there's a privacy policy page as well. I don't know if it's listed on here. Looks like it's not. But we can actually preview it right there. So this could be a privacy policy page, and you can list that on your site as well. Okay, we'll keep going here. So, well, actually, real quick before we move on, so if you want to add a new page, you just click Add New, and you title it whatever you want, and then that's basically your new page. And some of the same features as we covered previously over here on the right-hand side. So we'll keep going here. And comments, so this is where you're going to have all your comments. So if people make comments on your articles, you can comment back, or you can approve or mark them as spam. And just to give a heads up, you will probably encounter a lot of spam on your website, so you want to think about getting some spam blockers and things like that to kind of not have to deal with that quite as much. So the next one here is appearance, and this one is very important. So like I said, this is the theme that we're using right now, and it's the 2022 theme. But we can go ahead and change these. So like I can activate, let's say I like this one, I can activate that one. And let's see. There you go. So that one's now active. So if I come over here and refresh, it changes. So, and there's a lot of different themes out there, a lot of different themes available. Some of them allow you to kind of like have more customization features. We can get to that in a different video, but if you just want like a basic change of how the site looks, there are tons of themes available. Some are free, some you can purchase, and I would just kind of browse through what's available and find what works best for you. Yeah, so you can just go through and change the theme to whatever you want it to look like. So we can activate this one as well. Go over here and refresh and get a different look and feel. Obviously these don't look the best because they're not completely fleshed out and look really nice. And we don't have a lot of content either. But this is something you're going to definitely want to play with and get your site looking how you want it to look. But you can also customize a little bit. So if we click on customize, real quick, we can just kind of go through some of these a little bit. But basically you have the site title here, kind of a tagline. You can adjust those. You can ask those select, like, the little icon at the top left up here in the tab. That's what this is. So you can adjust that if you want or change it. You have like basic site colors, background color, header, primary colors, some theme options. And these are going to change depending on the theme that you have a little bit. So you can do like, fixed background images if you want. Change these kind of overlay colors. Change the opacity of something on here. Not quite sure. Yeah, so background images, menus. So you can have primary menus, secondary social menus. And there's a few widgets here. Widgets are kind of like, basically there's like little widgets here, like how things are kind of laid out here. So this is a widget, footer number 2, footer number 1 and 2. So those are adjustable. Some homepage settings. And additional CSS. So this is out of scope. Basically, you can customize your site to look however you want, but you have to add a little bit of code. So you have to know CSS stands for cascading style sheets. And as someone who doesn't know how to build websites and you're just getting into WordPress, it's something not to worry about. Basically, if you hire a developer, they will be working with this. So, but you can go ahead and ignore that for now. And we'll go ahead and go back to the menu here. So we kind of went through all those. Plugins. So there are a lot of plugins available for your website. I mean, there's tons. And all you have to do is just click Add New. And you can kind of browse to see what's available in here. And you can also search as well. But there's a whole community around WordPress. And you can find just a ton of plugins to add. So in a different video, I can go over some great plugins to install. But there's some, security ones. There's ones that kind of help, enhance the features of WordPress, make your website faster. So there's a lot of different plugins available. So search around this library and install what you need for your website. But that being said, I want to emphasize that do not go out and install just a ton of different plugins, because they will slow your website down. And if your website slows down too much, you're going to get pinged by Google and they're not going to rank you as high because your website is slow. You can have a bad user experience, and it's just not great. So you want to keep your website really fast and snappy. So try and limit the amount of plugins you install to just the ones that you really need. So just a word of advice on that. Users is basically, you have you are the user, and then you can add additional users. Let's say you want to have someone that's working on your website, and you can create a user for that. Or if you have someone just creating articles, you can create a user account just for them. So whatever it is, you can just add a new one there, and you're good to go. There's a number of tools here. This stuff you don't really need to know too much about, but you can basically import, export from different systems. Kind of some different deals here. So Blogger, LiveJournal, RSS feeds, kind of stuff like that. A little bit outside of scope for this video, but you can also export like your posts, the pages that you created, your media library, things like that. There's some site health here to see if there's any issues with your site. There's some exporting personal data, but there is a little bit of regulation around this, so you need to be careful about that. And then you can also go ahead and erase personal data. We'll go over here into the settings a little bit. So this is the title of your site, so go ahead and fill that out. Tagline, you can fill that out as well. Some themes show this and some themes do not. So if you download a theme and your tagline is not showing up, just know that some themes kind of hide that. So just be aware of that. This is the URL to your website. Your admin email, and kind of go through some of these. So, time zone, English, date format, time format, things like that. Week starts on, whatever day you want here. Just some basic settings. Go over here to writing. So you can set a default post category. So if I said earlier, kind of like outdoor gear, let's say you just created like a top level category, just outdoor gear. That could be one of the categories you created. You saw me create tents earlier, so that is available in the drop down here, so I can select that. So to add more to this and have more in this drop down, you need to go over to categories and add them there first, and then go over here to this page and go from there. There's also different post formats, so you can mess around with these if you want. this we'll probably kind of gloss over. I don't need to know as much about posting via email. I haven't seen too many people do that. So that's about it here. We'll go over to reading. So this is important. So if you create a new post, automatically how WordPress is set up is you create a post, and that's kind of like your homepage. So if you write an article, it's like that article is there first, and then you create another post, and then that one will move down, and your new post will be up top. And so that's kind of how it works. But if you want to have like a static homepage, all you have to do is select a static homepage and then select a page that you have created. Obviously, you have to go over here first and create the page. So let's say you create a homepage. Well, we can go ahead and do it real quick just to show how that works. So we can go ahead and add new. We'll just call this homepage, and we'll just type some text here, and we'll go ahead and publish. And we'll go ahead and go back to that. And now when I click static page, I can click the drop down, and there's the home page there. And if I come over here and refresh, let's see. First you have to save changes. That's important. And then go over here and refresh. There you go, here's the home page. So that's how you do that. If you want to set a specific page to the home page, this is where you do it. And that's like the top level URL. So it's like whatever your website is .com, this is the page they will go to, whatever you select for this static page. Now, if you have blog pages, you can adjust how many posts are on each page. And you can show full text, or you can do like an excerpt, and then they click on it and go to the full article, however you kind of want to do there. This one is very important. So search engine visibility. Sometimes this will be checked. It kind of depends on what theme you're using or whatever. But if you are just like building your website, you're building it, it's not ready, you don't really want to launch it yet, it's a good idea to check this box and say discourage search engines from indexing this site, because it's not really ready yet. But once you start having some content and you want Google to find it and start indexing it so people will actually find your content, make sure to uncheck this box and save it, because if you don't do that, Google will really never find your content and not really display it. So this is extremely important here. So make sure this box is unchecked, because you do not want to discourage search engines from indexing your content. So that's that one there. This one we can kind of gloss over a little bit. Default settings are pretty much fine. It's kind of talking about, if you link to any other articles, there's some pinging back and forth, some notifications, basically pingbacks and trackbacks, not really something to worry about too much. You can actually untake them if you want. I usually do, because I don't really want to bother with the pingbacks and trackbacks and all that kind of stuff. It's not really necessary. I do want to allow people to submit comments on new posts, so I leave that. Let's see. You can also make it so you can close comments after a certain number of days if you want. Just a lot of additional features in here. So you can also do, if someone comments on your website, it will send you an email to let you know. So you can adjust it, or like approve it or disapprove it, mark it as spam, whatever it may be. These ones are interesting here. So comment moderation. So if people are like kind of like stuffing your website full of spam and trying to link out to their own content and stuff, you can make it so it hides those comments or holds them for approval. So I don't like links at all. So I usually hold everything for approval, because I do get a lot of spam on my website. So something to be aware of. You can also kind of block things here a little bit. So you can block IP address, or authors' names, URL, emails, IP addresses. So whatever you put in here will kind of block those things. So if you're getting like a lot of spam from one person that has a certain IP address, or they're using a certain name or something like that, you can put it in here and it'll start kind of blocking that off immediately, kind of to save you some time. Because if you're getting a lot of alerts about these emails that you're getting and a lot of spam, you can kind of cut that off early here. So that's really good. Here you can also put in comment, just allowed comment keys. So again, like no URLs or emails, things like that in there. If you allow people to create accounts on your site, they can have like a little avatar. So you can change this to like some basic ones here. And there's some rating here for your content. So that's all that. Go over here to media. This is just image sizes on your websites, thumbnail, medium, and large. So you can adjust those to however you like. Permalinks. So this one's important. So when you create a post, it's going to be whatever your website is.com/ that next part is basically what this is, the permalink. And you want to make it as easy as possible for people to find your content or like type it in if they want to. And you also want to make it easy for Google to index it. So if you have something that's like, you can put the date, but the date's not really crucial. And in my opinion, you can put like the month and you can put the month in there and name some kind of numeric archive thing. There's a lot of different ways you can do it. You can also make it very custom to however you want. I highly suggest you just do post name. It keeps it very simple. It's easy for Google to understand. It's good for SEO. Just, whatever your website is.com/ article name is really the best way to go. So I highly, highly encourage you to just select post name and save changes on that one because that one's very important. And then privacy, you can create a privacy page and just use theirs and make some adjustments if you want. But this is just important so you don't run into any legal issues and things like that. I haven't heard many issues from it, but if your website is getting larger, you're doing a lot of business, this is going to be very, very important. So that is just kind of a quick gloss over of WordPress, what you get right out of the box. And what I'll say is that this is very, very basic. I don't create websites just using like WordPress alone. I use something called Divi theme, and it's basically a WordPress page builder, and it gives you a lot more features, a lot more customizable features and things like that. It makes it just a whole lot easier to build out a website, and I'll cover that in a future video, but I just want to give a quick gloss over of the basic WordPress install. So if you like this content, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.